Now, if you recently purchased a Mavic Air 2, more likely when you first launched the app, you notice that there's a bunch of overlays with a lot of tips showing you exactly what each icon is. Now, if you're new to the platform, that's definitely beneficial to understand what each icon does, how to properly start your motors, how to, preview your videos and photos. But if you've flown a DJI in the past, you more than likely probably skipped through all of those tips and tutorials and just went straight to camera view and wanted to start flying. Now, even though I've flown all the other Mavics in the past, there was one warning that I saw was pretty new, and that was when you first try to start the motors up. But there's a lot more to it, and let me talk to you a little bit about that in this video. And if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Anastasio. I do a lot of drone tech, tips, tutorials, and product reviews right here on this channel. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing and also hitting that bell to be notified when I post new videos. Now, when you first get your DJI Mavic Air 2, one of the first steps, of course, when you unbox it is to install these propellers. They don't come installed on the Mavic. You're gonna need to install them yourself. And of course, I've talked about that in my unboxing and assembly video and didn't think anything of it. It's a pretty standard procedure that you need to do. All you have to do, of course, is, like I said, find the white ring on this propeller, look at the white ring on the motor, press it down, turn it. This one right here does not have a white ring. You put that onto the motor without the white ring. Pretty simple, right? So just like every other drone, I didn't think anything of it. Now, not a big deal. You put the propellers directly on there, spin them on, and you're good to go. Did not think twice that there was any issues with the propellers. Then, of course, once you start powering it on, you will see that warning come up again. It says, make sure your propellers are installed correctly. And I'm like, okay, fine, not a big deal. It's just another warning. You can actually dismiss it or do not show it again if you already understand that the propellers need to be on there properly. Now, the reason why more experienced flyers don't think it's a big deal is because of the fact that even something like this, the Mavic 2 Pro, same thing, has a twist on propellers, and you have the same white ring on there. You put the white ring on the white motor. So what's the big issue? Well, the big issue for the Mavic Air 2 is that you can actually put on the wrong propeller onto the wrong motor. Now, if I tried to put the wrong propeller onto the Mavic 2 Pro and I push this down on here, it won't move, it won't lock. So there's a safety feature in there that won't let you put the wrong propeller onto the wrong motor. Now, like I said, if you've ever flown before, you'll know that you can't do that. You can't put the wrong propeller on because of the fact that it won't let you. Now let's come back to the Mavic Air 2, and this is where it can be a very, very big issue. Now, I'm not gonna get into the legality side of things, but if you guys haven't read recently, there's a lawsuit going on with DJI in general, with Autel talking about these quick release props. Now, I'm not gonna speculate and say that this is related to that issue that they were having, but this is definitely something that you want to note because of the fact it has changed on how you install propellers onto the new DJI Mavic Air 2. Now, the conflict that is going on is around quick release props, and like I said, the Mavic 2 Pro as well as a lot of the other existing Mavic lineups all have these quick release props, even the Phantoms as well. So what's the big issue now with the Mavic Air 2? Well, now you're actually able to install the propellers onto the wrong motors. There is no safety feature or safety lock like they had on the previous models. Now, I'm no engineer, but of course I know that the propellers do have a different angle to them, and also the way the motors spin in a different direction are all gonna affect the way you have lift on your drone. Now, naturally, if you have the wrong propeller onto the wrong motor and it's spinning in the wrong direction and the angle of the prop is wrong, you're more than likely gonna try to launch and it's gonna go just like that. It'll pretty much just tip or flip over. Now, with the safety measures that were on the Mavic 2 Pro and all the other ones, you weren't able to put the wrong propeller onto the wrong prop. But now there is no safety lock on the new Mavic Air 2. Now, here's the propeller with the white ring, and ideally I want to put it onto this one right here with the white ring around the motor, but you are now able to actually install it on the other motor. Press it down just like that and turn, and it does lock in place. If you install it this way, which is opposite, and you try to fly, more than likely it's just gonna go just like that. Now, I'm not gonna test that because I don't wanna damage and break my drone. I'm sure there might be some of you out there that will do that, so feel free to do that, but I'm not gonna do that. I just know, of course, I've flown other drones in the past before. You put the wrong propeller on the wrong motor, it's gonna flip over. Now, this is definitely a major issue because of the fact that you actually have to assemble the propellers onto the drone. A lot of people will make the mistake to just quickly put them on if you're not looking. And now you do have an issue with it because it can still go on. In the past, if you tried putting on the propeller onto the wrong motor, it would stop you. It wouldn't let you do it. It would just basically sit there and there's no twisting or locking mechanism happening. So that's why I didn't even think much about it until I kept seeing that warning in the app. Now I thought it wasn't a big deal. Of course, you just see the warning, you hit dismiss or do not show again, and kind of go about your way and putting on the motors as you normally would. So I didn't really pay attention too much until this issue came up with this lawsuit as far as the quick release propellers. Now I'm not the type to get into too much detail as far as what the lawsuit is. There's definitely a lot of information out there, but the one thing I did notice is that the Mavic Air 2 was not on that list of drones that were trying to be regulated as far as being shipped here into the United States. So I thought it was pretty interesting that the new quick release propellers, yes, they still work as quick release propellers, but that safety feature is not on there anymore. So I'm wondering if now the Mavic Air 2 is exempt because of the fact it's not the exact same type of quick release that was being used on the ones that are being regulated or trying to be regulated here in the US. And the DJI Mavic Mini is also not on that list as far as being mentioned about the quick release propellers, mainly because it does not have the quick release propellers. These propellers on the Mavic Mini are actually screwed in, so that's the reason why you're also not seeing that Mini on those documentations as far as what the issue is with this quick release prop. And there it is, guys. I just want to cover this issue mainly because the Mavic Air 2 honestly is one of the, if not the perfect drone to get that covers the spectrum of what probably 99 or 95% of the people will need or want out of a drone. You overlook this because of the fact that you already assume that, you know, the safety feature is gonna be built in. There's not gonna be any issues on putting the wrong propeller on the wrong motor, but with the Mavic Air, that's definitely changed. And that's the reason why you are getting that warning in the app. They wanna make sure that you are putting the right propeller on there because of the fact that if you don't, your drone is gonna flip over at launch. So if you recently got the Mavic Air 2, just make sure you double check those propellers. And if you know somebody that did get one, make sure you guys share this video with them. As always, if you guys got value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. And also, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. This is Ultra Nastasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.